But my office, me in particular, I am your resource to making sure that you're comfortable at the high school. So when in doubt about anything, come see me and I will put you in the right direction, I promise. So extracurricular sports and activities, we have well over 20 of them that you can be involved in. What I find in high school is your high school friends are not always the same as your middle school friends, and your adult friends are not always the same as your high school friends, because you're growing, you're changing, you're learning more about yourself each and every year. So get involved. And with that many different activities, there's no reason you can't find things that really match and bring out the best in your personality. I'll go over the rest of this as we're going through, but that's what's contained in the handout. Counseling Office Basics. We are basically a student service center, and I really wish that we could change that perspective so that people understand everything that goes on in our office. This is just a little bit of a listing of things that you're going to find when you get to the high school that you might not know where to locate. Work commits, volunteer hours, which I'll talk about. That has to do with that Kingsford High School outreach, that last section that I said I would discuss. Coordinate presenters, recruiters, scholarship information, scheduling, personal counseling, meeting that you're just having a really bad day, something happened at home, something's happening with you and your friends, something's happening between you and a teacher, you just need somebody to talk to, and that impartial person that doesn't repeat things unless you're in some sort of danger, that you can come in and get an honest opinion, get some help with what direction to go. Class presentations, such as what I'm doing right now, testing, helping to set up tutoring, working with people on study skills, grade checks, things like that. I have the power to see every single one of your grades, and I try to keep tabs on that as best I can. We've got about 575 students approximately in the high school, and there's just one of me, but I do my best. So parents that are in the audience, if you have a concern as your student transitions into the high school, please make me aware of it. I can help you get in contact, make sure you have access to all the resources that you have available to you as well. Okay, Remind 101, it's now called Remind, but there is a handout in there. I just wanted to show you these screens really quick more as a prompt to myself. Every class has a Remind option that they can sign up for. What that means is parents and students can sign up to get text alerts or email alerts for things that are particular to their class. So I have created now a class of 2019. I don't use this very often. It's more if there's something big that's going on, like for example, your scheduling sheet's being due Friday to your prime-time teachers. That'll probably be the first reminder that I push out, just to remind you on Thursday night that you should have those ready, signed, and in for Friday. So again, that information is in your packet. Second one is a general Kingsford High School counseling office. Remind 101. With this Remind, you have the ability to actually attach newsletters, documents, and things like that. So we're going to start utilizing this to send out newsletters on a more regular basis coming out of my office, because it is hard to put everything together with all the different pieces of information that are available. So this way my office will have one central location that I'm sending things out from. Which brings me, first of all, to volunteerism. So Kingsford High School Outreach is a club for Kingsford High School students. And believe it or not, beginning in April of your 8th grade year, you can already join a Kingsford High School club by joining Kingsford High School Outreach. Outreach is designed to form a bridge between the community and their students for community partners that may need some extra help, some volunteer high school students to come in and lend a hand. And for high school students, it works as a benefit on to participate in volunteerism. It'll expose you to different jobs, different careers that you may not have thought existed, different personalities, different adults, mentorship, things like that. So it's all about feeling good about yourself, getting involved in things that you're passionate in. And then if you so choose, you can be working on the Governor's Service Medallion, which is totally optional. Biggest question I get, and I get this stuff from some sophomores and juniors even, but do you need volunteer hours to graduate? No, you do not. You never have. So it is totally optional. Why should you do it? Again, I went through those lists already. The medallion is an option that we recognize at our graduation ceremony. So you'll see if you come to Kingsford High School graduation ceremony in May, some of the students have a special medallion, and they're denoted on the handout as earning the Governor's Service Medallion. That means starting as early as April of their 8th grade, started volunteering and they started tracking those numbers on those sheets, and I gave you all the sheets so that you can see what that looks like. So if they earn 400 or more hours by March 31st, no, it must be March 1st of their senior year, they can qualify for that medallion. They get an engraved medallion from the governor's office as well as a certificate and acknowledge of the graduation ceremony. So if that's for you, it's not for everybody. Some people work a lot, some people are involved in a lot of sports, and they don't have the ability to get the 400 hours. So it's not to imply that everybody should be doing this. But for those of you whose time is spent in front of a TV, maybe, doesn't look good when you get to your senior year and you're starting to fill out college applications, scholarship applications. They want to see what you're doing with your time, and if you don't have a lot of things to put down, they're wondering what you're doing with so much idle time. So volunteerism is a great way for you to fill those hours. You want to get involved. First of all, if you want to do the medallion, in that packet there's an application to open up an account. I do not go through and say, yes, this counts, and no, this doesn't. DICSA is the one that's in charge of that, the Dickinson Iron Community Service Agency. So it's their form where you open an account with them, and then every 9 weeks, think of it, every time you get your report card, you turn in your complete number of hours, and we will keep a copy for you. We will fax it over to them, so we'll take care of everything out of my office, but I'm not the one going through them, okay? So there's also a Facebook page. I get contacted at least once a week. It seems like a lot of times more than that, especially around certain holidays, where they're looking for help. So I will put it out on Remind 101. I will also put it on our Facebook page. So if you are a Facebook user, you can go to Kingsford High School Outreach. And you can also seek your own activities. If there's something that you're passionate about and you just don't know what to do with it, come to me and I'll help you. I'll put you in contact with those in the communities that can help you to set that up. Or I'll just on my own if I can. So, as you can see, it's KHSO. That stands for Kingsford High School Outreach, and that is the organization that I'm technically the coordinator for. Okay, career cruising. New students that are in the auditorium with us today, and parents, you may not be fully aware of career cruising. The rest of you, KMS 8th graders, you were at least exposed to it in 7th grade, and by this time, hopefully, every one of you has their own career cruising account. Everybody here have one? Some of you still. Okay. So Ms. Vera must be making her rotations to finish out creating those accounts. It is one of the best tools as a parent and as a high school student that you can use to plan your high school career. There's a place in there, in your packet, parents, I gave you the general login information, which is Kingsford and then career to get in. You cannot save anything under that. It's just a generic access to our account. The students don't need to use that. They go in directly with their personal ID and login, and then they can save things. So as they're going through, they do a career matchmaker interest inventory. It says what kind of careers they may want to consider. They can save that right into their own portfolio. They can save all of their volunteerism into their own portfolio. They can create a resume in that portfolio. So it's a one-stop shop that I want to strongly encourage all of you to use on a regular basis. If you don't use it regularly, you forget that it exists. But inside, I printed out like an 8-page handout in that white packet, because just within the school system, we don't have time to really walk you through. It could be a class in and of itself. There's so many features in there. As a parent, I'm going to get into scheduling, and I think it's really important for you to understand all the different pathways that you can take. We've tried to simplify it for incoming 9th grade students because you don't know yet, and I don't expect you to know where you want to go to school, what you want to major in. You may have an idea, but you're going to learn a lot more about yourself these next 4 years, and you may totally go a different way. Right now, within this past 3 weeks, I've had 5 seniors apply to totally different schools than they were considering at the beginning of the year. So it's an ongoing fluid change, and don't be afraid of that. That's how you get to know yourself, is by trying different things out. So within the cruising system, I'm not going to spend too much more time, but go in there. You can find, if you want to be a veterinarian, you can find everything out about a veterinarian, including every college in the United States that you can go to for, I guess pretty bad, which would be broad, but, and advice from experts and links to organizations you can become a part of as a high school student to build your resume so that you can get into these programs. Financial stuff. Those parents that are available, I will be doing presentations tomorrow 9th, 10th, and 11th grade students. And if you're concerned about financing college and what do I do and where do I go, you're more than welcome to join us for those presentations as well. The 9th grade one starts at 9, 10th grade one at 10, 11th grade one at 11. But career cruising is a great way to start because you can get the basics of what costs and things like that. So scheduling sheet. So the pink sheets. The pink sheet is going to be what you're going to turn into your primetime teacher. Those of you that are new to Kingsford School District, we will be working with you after I'm done with this presentation across the hallway to walk you through this process. This is the graduation requirements for the state of Michigan, the Michigan Merit Curriculum. So just real quick, mathematics. If you take that white packet that I made for you, I try to make it really easy. If you flip that over to the back, that's everything that we offer based on grade level and based on subject area. So you can kind of see how important it is for you to start planning, even as a freshman, what you want to take next year. Because it links into other things. There's classes that are prerequisites, which means you need to take one class before you're eligible to take the other. And in order to find that information, the course description book is online, and I can't stress enough how much you should be using that. Any questions that you may have about what exactly a class is, what would I do if I took that class, how old do I have to be in order to take that class, that's all in that course description booklet. For mathematics, you do need 4 years of math, and the way that that's defined by the Michigan Merit Curriculum is algebra, and then our students typically take geometry. Special note for those of you that are taking geometry next year, you do have the option of taking algebra 2 at the same time. The only reason you would want to do that would be is if you wanted to max out our curriculum, maybe major in something that's math related, and then you have the option of doing maybe an AP Calc BC, which is an online calculus 2, very, very deep level math. And again, this is informational. See me or email me for questions about that. But those are the three, the Algebra 1, Geometry, and Algebra 2 that you needed in order to graduate from Kingsford High School. The fourth one is a math related, which is really wide open, and they're designated on that sheet on the back of that white packet. So I won't go through those at this point. I do want to stress to you, for those of you that are 8th grade right now, if you're in algebra right now, you need to be really confident in that. Okay, you need to be able to, it's not the data work math that makes a difference, it's how you do on cumulative tests. If you can just repeat what your teacher tells you day to day, but then you get to a test and it's all jumbled together and you're lost, that's not a good sign, that's not a good backing. It's so important that your algebra is very strong, otherwise you'll see that in the rest of your math classes. There's absolutely nothing wrong with you doing algebra in 8th and 9th grade. Back in our day, a lot of people took algebra as their final class in high school. So don't fall into that pressure. Talk to your math teachers, see where you should be. Get a gauge of yourself on where you're at. And if they throw a unit exam in front of you, are you comfortable with it? If you are, then you're good. If you're not, because it's not, just repeating what was told to you, then consider doing the algebra again. It is not a bad thing coming from a math teacher. English language arts, you've got 4 years, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. We do have the opportunity at your 12th grade year to take either English 12 or AP Literature, which is a huge advantage for those of you that are looking at universities after you graduate from high school. AP courses, I'll talk about that a little bit, but those are transferable if you score high enough on the exam anywhere in the United States at the university level, which is different than community college level. Science 9, and biology. So if you look at your pink scheduling sheets, this is the first place where you need to make a decision. And this, again, should involve your science teachers. You have a choice of either entering into Science 9, which was typically what our students took. Science 9 is an introduction to chemistry and an introduction to physics. It's great because it gives them a sampling of both of those subject areas one semester each before they make a decision their junior year, which is required for graduation, either the chemistry or the physics. So if you're choosing either one of those but not both, that 9th grade freshman science gives you exposure to both. When you're looking at getting into college, you're looking at your junior year taking those college entrance exams. So if you've already had an introduction to both, even though that year you're taking one or the other, you have a little bit of knowledge and that will pay out for you on the ACT or the SAT exam. If you plan on taking both chemistry and physics, which you want to have in order to take those exams, then it would be totally fine for you to jump into the biology as a freshman, and then take the chemistry, and then take the physics, and then take our advanced APs beyond that. So again, you look at that course description book, you can see which classes you can double up on, what's a prerequisite to other classes. But that's a big decision, so that's something that you should look into and you should discuss with your science teacher to see whether you're ready to jump into that biology. Social studies, U.S. history and geography. I know 8th graders, you're in that right now. This is a continuation of that. And that's why we have it in 9th grade, because it pairs with what you're doing right now. Some schools have it at different levels. Sophomore year, which is 10th grade, we've got civics and economics, which is 1 semester each. And then world history and geography. Most students take that as a junior, which is 11th grade, but some of them will choose to move that to their senior year because they want to get other core classes in before they take those college entrance exams. So that's all part of something that you'll work out as you do your EDPs and career cruising. PE and health, one half of the credit in each of those are required. Visual performing and applied arts. This is a sampling. There's more than what's listed on this sheet right now, but this is a good sampling for what's considered VPAA. You'll see that abbreviated as. And then world language, and this is what's new this year. Prior to the changes that are supposed to take next month, which we're counting on, they were requiring 2 years of the same world language in order to graduate from high school. They have now changed that so that you can take 1 year of a world language and an additional VPAA, or you can still take those 2 years of the same world language. This is where career cruising comes into play again. If right now your goals are to go to a highly selective college or university, you're going to want minimum of 2 years of the same world language. Some of them are up to 3 or even 4, depending on the programs that you're looking at. So you need to know that before you go in. Otherwise, if you get into a program, and I think UW-Madison is the one that has the highest requirement right now that I'm aware of. But if you go into that and they wanted 3 years and you only had 2, that could be something that keeps you out of that school. So you need to do a little bit of research, and again, it's not make or break at this point, but you need to educate yourself. And then finally, the electives that would make up a total of 24 credits to graduate at Kingsford High School. The only difference in our curriculum, our graduation requirements than the state's, is our intro to microcomputer course. There is an online learning experience that's required, and that experience is separate from but contained within our intro to microcomputers. We typically have our freshmen do the intro to microcomputer class because every single one of your classes is going to require you to do presentations. So they're going to want you to know how to use PowerPoint, how to use Excel, definitely how to use Word to a pretty decent degree. So that's all of the things, plus safety, internet safety and things like that are contained in our intro to microcomputers. It's a blended class, which means they're in class face-to-face with the teacher, but they're doing it over Moodle, which is an online learner management system, so they can access it from home or anywhere they can get on the internet, and they can do the same work that they're doing in class. So if they ever need more time, you should know they can do that from home. So this is what the actual scheduling sheet looks like. So if you flip the pink sheet over to the other side, this is what you're going to fill out, this is what you're going to discuss. So English 9, everybody's going to take, that one's easy. U.S. history and geography, everybody's taking, that's easy. Algebra 1 or geometry. So this is where there's going to have to be, we get teacher recommendations from Kingsford Middle School math teachers. So those of you that are at the middle school, you don't need to know right now, but you should be having fluid conversations about that. Those of you that are coming from other districts, right now I'm going to ask you to make a request. But if you feel toward the end of the year that things change, you're not as comfortable as you thought you were, we can still change that. So no stress here, just right now we're getting the basics done. Science I talked about, you're either going to be doing Science 9, which again is the introduction to chemistry one semester, and an introduction to physics the other semester, or you're going to jump into biology if you plan on doing both of those subjects by the time you take your college entrance exams your junior year. So that's really the biggest indicator. Talk to your science teachers. Intro to microcomputers, again, if you see there's that line splitting it, that is a class that you could move to a different year if you wanted to. Some of you may be very interested in arts. You want to have 4 years of band, you want to have 4 years of chorus, you want to have 4 years of Spanish, and you just don't have room for all It's also a prerequisite for like a programming class or an advanced microcomputers class. So that's what that little pound symbol designates. It's a prerequisite for something. PE and health, again, the best thing for that is that you're in with your classmates. PE is probably the class or the subject I get the most animosity coming from incoming 8th grade students, and it's totally fine. Everybody's the same way. I know a lot of people don't actually jump in the showers if they're worried about that. But it's just more comfortable, I think, to get that done with your classmates for most people than it is to jump in with younger kids later on in your career. And then the last one, number 7, is open for whatever elective you'd like to take. Again, we try to make this easy because coming in your 9th grade year, you're not familiar with the classes, the teachers, the chain of events that occur. So at the bottom, we have listed all of the electives that you can choose from. And I'll talk about them really quick, but I'm going to say it really quick because the full descriptions are online, and that's going to be your best source. So accounting is an introduction to bookkeeping, so it's keeping track of money coming in and out of businesses. Art 1 is, again, absolutely no art experience needed. That's why it's Art 1. Band is a little bit of, you have to have a background, and if you jumped in without any sort of experience, you have to work with Mr. Shirk, I would think, at this point to see exactly where you're at so that you're not walking in totally green, but I think he would accommodate for that. Blueprinting, beginning drafting. That's where you're actually designing things on CAD, so on the computer system a little bit by hand. That is a prerequisite for architectural drawing or mechanical drawing, those of you that may be interested in engineering, working over at the tech center in building trades or in welding. They're using these programs over there, so for you to have that knowledge now will help you once you get over there. Child development and parenting, notice that's only 1 semester. Typically students who take that will also take the nutrition and foods because the same teacher teaches it and it keeps your schedule consistent from first semester to second semester. Flipper Interventions is new this year, and it is really designed for students who maybe just need a little bit more help. They don't feel like they're really on top of the ball with keeping up with homework, or maybe have trouble reading with something. So it's an intervention, study skills, that sort of thing. If you just feel like you're just not there and you want a little bit of help to get you back up and make sure that you stay competitive within your class, that's what Flipper Intervention is designed for. Intro to Business, which is Introduction to the Field of Business. You can take that either first semester or second semester. Chorale, which is chorus class. Music Appreciation and Music Theory. Those are 2 new classes that Mrs. Hogan has put together, and those also will be blended, which means you'll have some face-to-face and you'll do some online. It's not a performance at all. For those of you that are interested in music, the genres, the different famous composers, different points in time that are pretty significant within the realm of music, that would be something that would fit you, but you're not exactly, somebody who's ready to jump in on an instrument and play. Spanish 1, again, if you're looking at getting all 4 years of Spanish, obviously you want to get Spanish 1 in. And then woodworking 1, which is good if you're, we've got 4 years of woodworking, or the construction, building trades class with architects, and that's a good prerequisite. Future planning, just want to stress again, the course description book is online. Talked already about the world languages. Do you want 1 year? Do you want 4 years? You have that flexibility now. Tech center classes, if you look at the course description book, it will tell you in there which classes you can actually get college credit for. Typically, you need to take 2 years of the class in order to get the college credit, but there are some where you do need 1. But that's what articulation is. You see that word used in the description, course description book, and that's only if you go to that college. So just so you understand that wording. Prerequisite courses, again, just to make sure, that means you need to have had that course before you're eligible to take the course that you're looking at. AP versus dual enrollment. Dual enrollment is where you can actually take college classes as part of your schedule. And just really quick, if you're interested in that, you need to have the minimum test scores. We suggest at least a 3.0 grade point average in order to be able to handle the rigor of it. It does go on 1 of your hours of your day. We have, this year was the first year that we had day on our campus, and I think it was a huge success. We offered 3 courses first semester and 2 courses on campus second semester. So it was if the kids were going to college, they would just go right into the classroom. The day instructor was in there. They went 3 days a week, Monday, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, which left them Tuesdays and Thursdays for an hour to get the work done and get extra help, those sorts of things. Huge success. So that's dual enrollment. They also there's some students who are taking classes online, so there's flexibility. We pay 1/7 of our FTE, it's called. So this year it ended up being $502 per course maximum. So there was, I think, an $80 charge overage that came to the family, and then families purchase books because you own the book, you can resell it, you can choose to rent it. At the college level, that's you own the book. So those are dual enrollment. AP is a little different. AP is offered here on campus with one of our instructors. It's a class just like any other class that you take during the day. It's more rigorous. There's more work that's expected because it is taught at a university level. And to accommodate for that, you can get a 5-point grade point scale. So if you attend graduation, they talk about grade point averages. 4.0 is what you're used to because that's what an A is worth. In high school, AP courses can be worth 5-point scales. In order to qualify for that, you need to get at least a C or better. And then I think you need to take both semesters of the course. So if you got a B in an AP class, that actually goes into your grade point average as a 4.0 because they add an extra point on. So when you look at these kids that are graduating seniors and they have a 4.09, blah, 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 it's because they've gotten A's in all their other classes, but they've also taken AP classes and achieved A's, which has put their grade point average over 4.0. And we have, I think, seven of them this year that are in that situation. Difference between AP and dual enrollment as far as credit for college is concerned. AP courses are based on just one exam at the end. It's a different exam that you pay for. It's kind of like taking the Explorer test, the ACT test. It's given in May, and your college credit is strictly based off of how well you won that one test. High school credit is good. You're in class, you can work. College credit based on that one test. The other thing is pretty unique about Kingsford High School. Mrs. Bianco, you heard them talking about her earlier. She offers the NFPT training as a fourth-year student. So those of you that are looking at, you enjoy fitness, you enjoy working out, you'd like to be a personal trainer, working in the gym, helping people to establish their own routines. It's an excellent way to have a decent paying job through college. That's what a lot of our students do. They get certified and then they work as certified trainers on the college campus to take themselves through whatever other degree they may be seeking. Okay, timelines. Tonight we need to review the online course description booklet. It's great front and center on the Kingsford High School webpage. And then this week, select the electives, alternatives, talk with your teachers, make sure you're on board, you've got a good sense of where you're ranking and how well you can handle the demands.